the room didn't erupt. There was no shouting, no dramatic confrontation, no moment that demanded immediate attention. What unsettled people most was how quietly everything shifted, almost imperceptibly at first. Like the subtle change in air pressure before a storm, something felt different long before anyone could explain why. According to whispers that began circulating online, the claim at the center of this story did not arrive with headlines or hashtags. It wasn't announced on a stage or typed into a viral post. It was allegedly spoken in private, passed carefully from one person to another, never meant to leave the room it was born in. And that is precisely what made it feel dangerous. Within hours, timelines blurred. Screenshots appeared without context. Voice notes were referenced but never verified. Conversations were mentioned secondhand, always vaguely, never concretely. And suddenly, a story no one asked for began forming on its own. Fans say the shock didn't come from chaos or spectacle. It came from implication. The idea that something deeply personal, an allegation tied to Tamar Braxton's marriage, had slipped into conversation and refused to stay there. One name kept resurfacing in every version of the rumor: Mendeecees. And attached to it was a claim so heavy that people paused mid-scroll, unsure whether to keep reading or look away. According to online chatter, the source of the claim wasn't a blogger or a tabloid. It was Tamar's husband. At least that's how the story has been repeated. Not something he announced publicly, not something recorded or documented, but something people say he shared behind closed doors. The allegation wasn't framed as gossip. It was framed as belief. And belief, fans say, changes everything. Emotions ran high as the rumor took shape, because this wasn't just about betrayal. It was about timing, about trust, and about a pregnancy claim that allegedly reframed the entire relationship. As the hours passed, concern turned into unease. Group chats filled with disbelief. Comment sections echoed the same question again and again. Why now? Some posts went further, suggesting that reports were mentioned alongside the claim, always described as explosive, never shown. That alone pushed the conversation into darker territory. Fans were shocked by how quickly curiosity shifted into alarm. Nothing had been confirmed. No statements. No documents. No proof. Yet the atmosphere online felt heavier by the minute. Silence began to speak louder than words. And as the story spread, one thing became clear. Whether true or not, the claim itself had already done something irreversible. It made people listen. And once people start listening, rumors don't wait for facts to catch up. The conversations that followed didn't unfold in public view. They happened quietly, through private calls, tense messages, and exchanges later described only in fragments. According to those fragments, Tamar's husband wasn't shouting or accusing. He was questioning, replaying moments that once felt ordinary and now felt unfamiliar. Friends who were allegedly part of those conversations say his tone was controlled but shaken, like someone trying to understand how a story they believed had already changed shape. Online chatter suggests the belief forming in his mind didn't arrive all at once. It built slowly, layered over time, fueled by small details that refused to line up the way they used to. A missed explanation, a shift in routine, a change in tone that once seemed harmless. Fans are shocked by how quickly hindsight turns into certainty once doubt takes root. Things that once felt insignificant began to feel loaded with meaning. According to repeated retellings, the name Mendeecees surfaced not as a reckless accusation, but as a possibility that wouldn't leave the conversation. People repeating the rumor insist the husband didn't frame it as something proven. It was described as something he believed might explain everything that no longer made sense. And once that belief took hold, every unanswered question seemed to point in the same direction. Those close to the situation are said to have noticed the shift before the internet did. Plans were postponed. Communication slowed. Not the calm kind of silence, but the strained kind. The kind that sits heavy in a room. Some claimed Tamar's inner circle felt the tension immediately, even if no one knew how to name it. Fans watching from a distance say the mood around her felt heavier. Not visibly dramatic, just different. As if something unspoken was sitting between everyone involved. As whispers moved outward, reactions multiplied. Friends allegedly urged caution, reminding the husband that suspicion is not proof. Others reportedly encouraged him to trust his instincts, warning that ignoring doubt can lead to deeper regret. The family was left divided, not because of anything confirmed, but because belief itself can be powerful. Long before the public had any idea what was being discussed online, the narrative began to grow teeth. Posts framed the claim as a secret finally surfacing. Comments speculated about timing and motive. Fans are shocked by how quickly curiosity turned into conviction for some. People began connecting dots that may not belong together. Old interviews were revisited. Past moments were reinterpreted through a new lens. Silence started to feel louder than denial, even though no denial had been issued. According to circulating accounts, the pregnancy angle is what intensified everything. Not because it was proven, but because of what it implied. Suddenly, the story was no longer just about betrayal. It was about life-changing consequences. Fans described freezing mid-scroll when that detail appeared, unsure whether to keep reading or look away. The conversation shifted instantly, from drama to concern, from speculation to fear. Group chats lit up with disbelief. Some questioned the credibility of the claim. Others focused on the emotional toll it suggested. Fans are shocked by how empathy and judgment can exist side by side. Some defended Tamar fiercely, arguing that unverified claims should never be treated as truth. Others argued that such a belief wouldn't form without reason. The debate itself became part of the story. According to online chatter, Tamar wasn't addressing any of this publicly as it spread. Her silence became a canvas for interpretation. Supporters viewed it as dignity and restraint. Critics framed it as avoidance. Neither side could confirm their assumptions, yet both spoke with certainty. People repeating the rumor insist the husband's reaction remained private. No scenes leaked. No confrontations recorded. Instead, there was distance, withdrawal, a sense that something fundamental had shifted. Fans say this made the claim feel more believable to some, not because of evidence, but because quiet reactions often feel more real than loud ones. As the story spread, another layer emerged that made the situation feel darker. Discussions online began mentioning alleged reports in hushed tones, always unverified, always repeated. Fans are shocked by how repetition alone can make something feel substantial. Supporters expressed concern over how quickly health-related speculation entered the narrative. Some pleaded for restraint, warning that such rumors cause real harm. Others dismissed those warnings, arguing that public figures live under scrutiny. The family was left divided, not just internally, but in the eyes of the audience. As hours turned into days, the rumor refused to settle. Each retelling added detail, some contradictory, some reinforcing. Fans are shocked by how quickly belief spreads without verification. Once the idea took hold, reactions followed as if something definitive had already happened. People spoke in tones of certainty, even while acknowledging nothing was confirmed. The emotional truth of the story began to matter more than factual certainty. What lingered most was the sense of loss. Trust appeared fractured, peace disturbed. Even skeptics admitted the damage described felt real. Belief alone can alter relationships. As the conversation reached its peak, it transformed from a question into an assumption, not because new information emerged, but because silence continued. The attention didn't fade. It shifted, quieter but heavier. People stopped asking what was said and started asking how long it had been believed. According to online chatter, the claim wasn't sudden. It was described as a conclusion forming over weeks of unresolved tension, moments that felt off, conversations that never fully resolved. Fans are shocked by how memory reshapes itself when trust cracks. As uncertainty grew, mood replaced evidence. The pregnancy claim emerged as a theory that connected the dots, not an accusation, a belief. And belief carries weight. Friends reacted differently. Some urged grounding, others validated intuition. The family was left divided over interpretation, not facts. Meanwhile, fans analyzed everything. Old clips resurfaced. Smiles were reinterpreted. Pauses framed as hesitation. Nothing was neutral anymore. Tamar's silence became the focal point. Some saw strength, others saw concealment. Neither had confirmation. Health-related whispers resurfaced, shifting the tone from gossip to alarm. Supporters called for empathy. Critics pushed back. The conversation became emotional rather than analytical. People reacted to how the story felt, not what it proved. As repetition increased, belief hardened. Friends encouraged emotional self-protection. Others warned against rumor-fueled decisions. Silence continued to be interpreted as something else. The focus shifted from truth to consequence. Damage was discussed before facts. Fans are shocked by how imagined outcomes feel inevitable once belief sets in. No new information surfaced, yet the story deepened. It fed on itself. Eventually, shock gave way to expectation. People spoke as if they were waiting for an ending. But no ending came. The rumor became self-sustaining. It no longer relied on facts. It relied on reaction. What lingered wasn't certainty, but discomfort. Belief alone had reshaped perception. And that is what made this story linger. Not the claim itself, but what it revealed about how quickly narratives form, how easily silence is filled, and how difficult it is to step back once momentum takes over. Nothing was proven, nothing was officially stated, yet the impact remained. And now the question isn't just what was claimed. It's how we respond, and rumors move faster than truth.